Welcome back to Finding Monster Rights, the show that finds monsters. I'm Adam.
Right?
I'm Adam. that's actually awesome.
Okay. We did it. It took us a week.
Yeah. I'm Adam.
And I'm all business, because I think we can agree that the last two episodes, total fucking slop pile, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolute garbage. So this week, it's all business. I have brought my business juice. I am all business and ready. And we are going to take our findings today and present them to the Philadelphia Sports Assembly.
Correct. This, no nonsense. This is the most serious monster to date. Known in some regions, specifically ours, as the Philadelphia Phanatic.
And the title of this episode is The Phillie Phanatic, The Gritty Problem, and How We Got Here.
Yep.
Now, Adam's done some research on the deep lore, so I don't want to keep the people waiting.
Yes. If you're not familiar with the Philadelphia Phanatic,
then you are lucky.
Yes, consider yourself among the lucky few. Because let me tell you, there is a 7-foot-tall Big Bird mofo in Citizens Bank Park who has a problem, and that problem is you. You are not cheering loud enough. You're not hiding into the crowd well enough, because he will seek you out like a bird of prey and devour you, or just polish your bald head.
What I really like about the Phillie Phanatic as opposed to other cities' mascots, and I'm not just biased because I'm from Philadelphia, but I like how he's not just like an animal with a weird, inexplicable big head, or like a person with an inexplicable big head.
Yeah, the Philadelphia mascots before him, Phil and Phyllis, very unoriginal, but they're just kind of boring colonial big bobbleheads. But no, he is something special, all right. So I think at first let's break down the Phillie Phanatic physically.
Yes, okay. So we're talking, all right, he's a fanatic, and a fanatic is a person who is very excited about something, like a fan. That means he was once a man, I'm pretty sure. This might be contradicted by what Adam says later, I believe, but so he's got, take a man, real fat man.
Oh yeah, a big old pear-shaped man.
Big old pear-shaped man. He's got some arms, he's covered in like this green fur, like a shag carpet, and he's got like two little Muppet eyes and a weird little bird tail that's like some blue feathers, and most terrifyingly is Birdo, like Yoshi's friend.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that kind of mouth, like a big tube mouth, almost like someone was holding up an old-timey kind of megaphone or a hand cone to yell their support for the Philadelphia Phillies,
but they had
fused to their face in a gruesome visage of death.
Yeah, they held it up too many times, and eventually just stuck there.
Yeah. And also, he's wearing a baseball hat and a baseball shirt.
Yep, with his round tummy sticking out. And yeah, no, that's the Phillie Phanatic. As by Wikipedia, a green bipedal flightless bird.
What?
Green, bipedal, flightless bird.
In what way is he a bird? Well, I mean, I guess that's not the question that I should be asking.
So he's got he's got like a rooster body type, a little bit. He's got the tail sticking out at the end, the kind of...
Yeah, he has that.
The bit of a mohawk and the almost beak. As you mentioned...
He has a mohawk?
As you mentioned, it's kind of... there's a big old tongue in there. And it's kind of the opposite of the way that the cone is supposed to be, but he's a bird canonically.
All right, I think he ought to have wings for that, even if they're atrophied, unless he's some kind of kiwi or a moa or something. But no, he's got arms.
Yeah,
I am so confused and also interested.
I think it's very possible that he is overweight. To the point where flightlessness, even if he had fully functional wings, would not be a possibility.
But how terrifying would he be?
Oh my god!
if he was just flying around with a t-shirt.
Well, there's a reason why he wears those sweet kicks. If you took those off, he'd have like talons. You'd be able to pick up like the opposing team's pitcher and just and give him a toss.
You just carry him off like Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
Does he actually have talons canonically in the deep lore?
I honestly, what you see is what you get when it comes to the Phillie Phanatic. So underneath,
What you see is a nightmare. Hi, I'm Rod Serling, and welcome to my Twilight Zone. I bet is how he sounds.
Well, what I'm saying is that I don't know if he has talons. I also don't know if he has nipples.
Well, there's only one way to find out, I guess.
Yep. But it's funny that you mentioned that you called referenced him as a Muppet earlier, because he actually, the mascot was designed by a member of the Jim Henson's team.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah. And he's not as old as you might think. When do you think the Phanatic was designed?
I think he is kind of the avatar, or that's not the right word for it. The flesh puppet of some sort of Maya deity that was summoned to defeat Cortez, but showed up late and instead decided to shoot hot dogs at the conquistadors.
Huh. He has some Quetzalcoatlness to him. I'm not going to deny that.
He has the coloration of a resplendent quetzal.
Now, well, actually, the year of his birth design, 1977.
1977.
So,
well, that makes more sense than whatever I said.
Well, and the more I think about it, it's like, it's more like it's 40 years and some change, but it's still pretty good. That's still fairly recent in terms of baseball the sport.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how old baseball the sport is. I guess like
at least a century.
I can picture Abraham Lincoln playing baseball, but I can't picture George Washington playing baseball. So I guess that old.
Yeah, that's checks out. So yeah, there's a lot of craziness that goes into the Phillie Phanatic. As he's pretty notable when it comes to.
Oh, you don't say.
He's pretty notable when it comes to sports mascots, actually, because he's one of only like two that have made their way to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think in Coopersville, New York. I visited there and saw his like monument.
If you seek his monument, look around you.
Yeah, but he gets into all kinds of antics during the game. Drives around an ATV with a hot dog gun. Yes, he is armed and dangerous.
Yeah, that's...
That's weird that he canonically uses a gun, right?
I mean, no. It's America.
Oh, it's that he is in the like OG American capital. So he's got that kind of energy.
Yeah, no, he really does. Who is the other mascot in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
I couldn't tell you. They did not leave an impression on me. I was just all like, the Phillies.
Oh, that makes sense. It's probably like the Helena Dogs or something, and their mascot is just a dog with a big head.
Yeah, he was inspired by he got a similar design to the San Diego Chicken, the Padres mascot. But
why isn't their mascot just like a Padre? Why is it not just like a 50s dad with some glasses and a pipe that he carries around and shoots hot dogs out of by blowing into it?
No clue.
Hey, the San Diego Padres. I've got an idea for you.
Yeah, he's very projectile based the more I think about him. Just like Birdo, as you mentioned. Known for shooting eggs out of his mouth.
Birdo's gender has been very ambiguous historically.
Yeah, I want to say his because
Sure.
because yeah. But yeah, no, he's always like spraying silly string, serving cheesesteaks, classic Philly behavior. The important thing, though, is that his official. So I guess, yeah, there's 2 points here. One is that he has a birthplace. According to his official biography, the Phanatic is originally from the Galapagos Islands.
I mean, that's a place where there's... It's not a place where there's flightless birds, really. I mean, they have penguins there, but, like, they didn't get flightless there.
Yeah, for me, it's more like, of all the places in the world where I know something about the birds, that's one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's the story of, Darwin's finches and stuff, how birds on different islands have different beaks for different fruits or nut-based purposes, based off the foliage that grows there.
Yep.
So my question to you is, what is the specific evolutionary purpose of the Phanatic's nose? Mouth.
Yes, I see. My first... Okay, so there is no animal that just walks around with its mouth open all the time. That's a bad plan.
Yeah, unless you're, like, really desperate, maybe? Like, if you eat flies and you want to get, like, maybe 1% of flies, that's a strategy.
Okay, I have 2 theories.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is that he is an aquatic creature, and he filter feeds like a whale or a basking shark or a flamingo, possibly, but in a manner more similar to a whale.
Based on his body type, flamingo is pretty noteworthy.
Yeah, and
he definitely skips leg day, and it is his gut tells me that he skips a lot of other things too, except for seconds.
My second, and I consider more likely theory, is that he is a member of avian stock that has re-evolved a something that doesn't really exist in the vertebrates, and that is I'm forgetting what the proper word is, but a life cycle that involves some massive changes to the physiology of the animal. Are you familiar with how, like, certain insects, like different moths and mayflies, they come out of the cocoon without mouth parts because they did all their eating as caterpillars?
They're done eating?
They're done eating. They just come out and they don't have a mouth. And the feeding apparatus that we can see on Mr. Phanatic is so inefficient at eating pretty much anything that I am forced to assume that he has a similar larval phase of his development that involved eating maybe a lot of leaves, probably cheesesteaks, and then just kind of getting really fat and going into a cocoon somewhere in the Jim Henson studio, and then breaking out into the Galapagos wilderness and killing Dr. Fuji in the process, presumably.
Yeah, I think that he maybe emerged, like, too soon.
We dreamed of creating the world's most popular baseball mascot.
And we succeeded. Yeah, no, that's he's got some I want to see the tube that he was, like, stored in. Because there's only breaking out's the only way to get out of there. And I just want to say, I'm not fat shaming the Phillie Phanatic. If you have seen him perform, one of his go-to dance moves is just grabbing his tummy and doing a big ol' a chunk from the Goonies maneuver.
Absolutely.
The other Galapagos connection that I noticed is something I recall about the classic Galapagos tortoises. They grew in abundance because besides when they're young and prey to the Galapagos hawks, they have few natural predators.
Right, yes. That's how they got so big.
Could it be that the Phillie Phanatic is some sort of apex predator where he was able to grow to such great size and stature by having no like natural foil?
Well, this is a phenomenon called Foster's rule, where large animals that find their way on islands will tend to grow smaller because they have fewer resources, but small animals that find their way onto islands will tend to grow bigger in the absence of predators. So what I'm saying is he has come from smaller stock, which he is a 6-foot bird, so that doesn't narrow it down really.
No.
But I would say that he is... Well, I mean, without knowing what the larval stage, the larval bird imagine like a bird caterpillar. Like, that's just gross.
Yeah, honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is the Phillie Phanatic without limbs.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, he just kind of rolls around. His head does a couple circles, and then he stops where he's at and starts munching, slurping up hot dogs and whatever he finds. I think that before he became like the face of Phillies as a Phillie mascot, like he was just kind of like surviving in the stadium before a veteran stadium at the time.
And they just found him there.
Yeah, like they found him like underneath the dugouts or something like that in some kind of nest.
Interesting. Holometabolous is the phrase I was trying to think of earlier. Like complete metamorphosis. Like instead of like a nymph form, there's like a larval form.
And maybe they made some kind of like devil contract with him, where like he was gonna kill them, and they're like, no, wait, we can make you the star. Because he is a big baseball fan. If he was hiding in the stadium, then that's like the one world that he knows.
Like a backwards Faust.
Right. Anti-Faust.
Anti-Faust.
So yeah, that's the first part. The second part, which I think kind of adds to this in different ways. All right, I'm gonna read a sentence to you and tell me if the same word pops out to you that's popped out to me. Standing on the roof of the Phillies' dugout between halves of the 7th inning, the Phillie Phanatic remains on the dugout roof for the home half of the inning to hex the opposing pitcher.
What?
He does a Phanatic dance, and specifically hexes the enemy pitcher.
Okay, let me get the PHB really quick.
Looking for monsters that know the hex spell? That'd be in the... you're looking at what hex does.
Alright, I've got the player's handbook in hand here for Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to find out exactly...
As a 3-year warlock, I can tell you that hex can give a disadvantage to an ability check, such as strength. So if someone were to make an athletics check, as a pitcher might do, there would be a disadvantage if they had been hexed.
But does hex have a somatic component?
That's an important part.
You don't know? I thought you were a 3-year warlock.
Well, you know, sometimes you talk, sometimes you wiggle your fingers.
No one cares about the components. Everybody just rules that away.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. Okay, so my question is... what is the Phillie Phanatic's class then that he knows hex?
Warlocks are the ones that learn it.
What level spell is it?
It's a 1st level spell. Yeah.
Okay, well it's not under Bard.
It's
not under Cleric.
Yeah, it's just Warlocks. Vocal, somatic, and material. The material is a petrified eye of Newt.
Okay, well you might have an arcane focus. But, yeah, no, it's just the Warlocks. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't play D&D, what that means is the Phillie Phanatic has sworn his soul to some kind of extraplanar entity, like a devil or one of the Fey Court or a great old one. And I think maybe the hot dog gun is his arcane focus.
It's pretty good.
And in that case, he is a Hexblade Warlock, which has a much more obscure patron entity.
In that case, the patron would be like, might be the hot dog gun itself. Wait, or it could be. Honestly, I think it might have to do something with baseball. He is a. I would say he's a servant of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Wait a minute. Is there a baseball god?
So there's not.
Are you sure? It's been a while since I was Catholic. Nope, probably not.
The patron saint of baseball.
Oh, Google that. I am going to look up an alternative hypothesis really quick. We're gonna treat the listeners to some hot sexual Googling.
The patron saint of baseball is Rita of Cascia. I don't know why she's the patron saint of baseball, seeing as she was born in 1381.
I guess they just had to pick one?
Yeah, they were just handing out the stuff. Unofficial patron saint of baseball due to a reference made to her in the 2002 film The Rookie. So, okay, I'm not gonna put any lore rules down, but, usually something has to be over 20 years old for me to classify it as a source of lore.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta start somewhere.
That's the place. There's I think maybe we can learn a little bit more about the Phillie Phanatic by his family.
Okay, hold on. I've found something here. So, I've looked up the Mesoamerican ball game on Wikipedia, the earliest iteration of sport in the Americas that we know of. And what I have found is a detail from the late 15th century Codex Borgia of the Aztec god Xihutecuhtli, I'm pronouncing that wrong, bringing a rubber ball offering to the temple. So, I have found the patron of the Phillie Phanatic.
There you go.
And I'm just gonna call Great Old One.
Yeah, that's a great old one. I'm not gonna argue with that. The only point where I would disagree is that, like, where's the green? But it's there. That's one of the primary colors here.
If it's not green, it's not unknowable. Like, if Cthulhu were blue, I'd be like, who gives a shit?
Blue Thulu.
Hashtag Blue Thulu.
Yeah,
tweet the president.
So back to the canon. The Phillie Phanatic has canonically a mother.
A mother from the Galapagos Islands?
Clearly, I'm not sure if they both emigrated here, or if or if they're at least second generation. But yeah, no. So he is of woman born. Technically.
So we can't kill Macbeth.
Yeah, can't kill Macbeth.
By the way, are we calling this Origin of Screamies?
No,
We've really not divided this into our traditional segments.
Yeah, I've got no direction here. I'm filling in the blanks, and the blank is what is this thing?
You know what? That's extremely fair.
Yeah, sure. I just want to say that, yeah, he has got a mother whose name is Phoebe. He's got a younger cousin whose name is Fred, spelled with a PH.
Oh, okay. Wait, what's his name?
The Phillie Phanatic.
That is very warlock, that his name...
is like a title?
It's like a title, yeah. He's not like Phil anymore. He is now like the Great Deceiver, or like the Scion of Doom.
And so this is where this is kind of some hearsay, and this is like no one, people know that this is so in Japan, the Hiroshima Carp have a mascot, and that named Slyly, and Slyly looks identical to the Phillie Phanatic. The main difference is that he's got he is a very, very near subspecies, clearly. He's got like a teal color instead of like the lime green. And I think he's got 2 tongues instead of 1.
Oh, that's strange.
Yep. Got kind of like a dragon-y head, but my God, if those two are not related, then something's wrong here.
I've done a Google.
Actually, I should explain. Something is wrong here.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. I mean, stunned silence is not a good look for an audio format, but I can't react in any other way, in any earnest sense. God's dead. I know that for sure now. God was real, and now he is dead. Oh, hey, here's a comparison picture of the two. I'm gonna share this with you, and maybe you could tweet this out on L Facebook page once this episode goes up.
Yeah, sure.
We don't have a Facebook, we have a Twitter. We'll tell you more about it when we get to the fucking thing at the end.
One sec here. Large plane.
Is that the plane where the Phillie Phanatic's patron is from?
I actually think they're coming for me. I've spoken too many words about our green hero.
Our green hero and his weird brother from Japan.
Yeah, I saw, like, yeah, so people are like, oh, it's his half brother, and I'm like, all right, let's not, or his Japanese, his brother from a Japanese mother, and I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing here. I need some facts, sir.
Was the Phillie Phanatic's biological father drafted in World War II? Is that what's being implied here? Because I think he's the right age. And I think that's a suitably fucked up story.
Again, 1977. He is recent. He is younger than my parents.
Yeah, no, my dad was born in 67, and his dad fought in World War II.
So yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. You're like, it's lining up.
I'm doing some math here, assuming the Phillie Phanatic was at one point human, which is
better than the real story, I think. I think he became such a big fan that he turned into a fucked up bird monster. And if you're a big enough fan of the Philadelphia Phillies, this could happen to you.
Well, yeah, back to the warlock.
Then you won't have to pay taxes because you'll be a fucked up bird monster.
Yeah, back to the warlock thing. If this is like his true form that's been revealed, like that makes almost sense. Like he's been cursed by this patron.
This great old one, patron, whose name I've already forgotten. Ooh, because it's very Aztec and very hard for me to pronounce because my native language is English and I speak a little Spanish that I learned in high school. Okay, we're done.
Yeah, no, there's no friendly
Aztec phrases. It's definitely not clottle. It's not clottle.
No.
I'm gonna cut you off there and say it's not clottle. I don't think anybody pronounces any words like that. I've Googled a picture of the Phillie Phanatic's mom, and it's fucking weird.
She looks identical to the Phillie Phanatic, except in a dress.
She's wearing like a Queen Elizabeth circa 1977 outfit, and I'm understandably concerned.
So I don't think. But yes, let's...
I think this is a picture of the Phillie Phanatic proposing to his mom.
Are you?
Or he's down on one knee for some reason.
He could be tying his shoes. He does play a lot of baseball.
He is looking at her and handing her something. I think flowers.
Oh, must be Mother's Day.
I guess. Let's hope that's what's going on, and not that this is how. Oh, okay.
There's another
thumbnail. There's another thumbnail of the Phillie Phanatic and his mom, and he is wailing plaintively into the sky. It occurs to me that now that whenever the Phillie Phanatic raises his tube mouth above like a 180-degree angle, like a flat horizontal, as soon as it goes up, instantly terrifying.
Yeah, no, he is. He's like readying an eldritch blast out of his mouth.
Oh my god, that's how he does. That's what it's for, is firing out eldritch blasts. He fires out multiple eldritch blasts when he gets to 11th level. He fires out, he took eldritch invocations to make his hot dog gun stronger.
Oh, yeah. About the end of the facts here. There's a new Phillie Phanatic, sort of. There's been a long dispute about like who the rights belong to and stuff like that. So they recently, this baseball season, before they got canceled, tried to oh, he's got a new look to try and avoid copyright. I don't think it worked.
Wait.
Yeah?
Wait a minute. They tried to kill him, and in exchange, a horrible blight was unleashed upon the world of man.
Oh my god.
Is what you're telling me with your word mouth right now.
What I'm telling you is that this great old one devotee was recently slighted by the media. Attempted defamation, and now the world suffers.
I'm just gonna check out what level a warlock might learn, say, contagion, for example. Blight, 4th level. Okay, well that's how it starts, isn't it? It's a blight. And, alright, so let's see, 4th level is at least 6th level warlock. And my purpose in this is, Adam, what is the purpose of giving a creature a D&D stat block in D&D?
So you can fight it?
So you can kill it.
Right.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door. Bring the fight to them. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
Oh, that's just the first monster of the evening. Let's talk about the gritty situation real quick here.
Oh, we're doomed.
Yeah, I believe, was it last year already? The Philadelphia Flyers.
Who knows anymore?
The Philadelphia Flyers, the Philadelphia hockey team, introduced a new mascot, replacing probably another kind of bird, someone no one cared about, but a very intimidating orange grimace type, known as Gritty, who is all the rage right now because he looks very freaky. He looks like Elmo's redneck cousin.
The Wikipedia picture for Gritty has him shaking the hands of a veteran. That's just such a strangely specific...
Yeah. I looked it up that he was designed to be a little more intimidating than, say, the Phanatic. I think
they succeeded.
Yeah, they over-succeeded for sure.
Over-succeeded is a great word, and it perfectly describes the situation.
Yeah, he is concentrated intimidation. And yeah, he's got a very similar body type too. He's definitely was designed with the same intent as the Phillie Phanatic, for sure. But yeah, no, I think he's less of a goofball and more of a distant cousin you don't want to hang out with.
He was reappropriated as a socialist and Antifa meme in a manner similar to how Pepe the Frog was reappropriated by various alt-right groups, is a sentence from Wikipedia.
Yeah, there's a big obsession about him for some reason. I don't really... Honestly, I'd rather talk about the Phanatic. Gritty's not really worth my time. His nose isn't interesting.
Gritty doesn't care about what your time is. Gritty just knows your time is up.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know the canonical backstory for Gritty is that in 2018, the Flyers, as an organization, found him slumbering deep down beneath the Wells Fargo Center as recent construction awakened him and incurred his wrath?
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. That's like what we made up for the Phanatic, except real.
It really is. It really... Wait, okay, so this raises the question of what Gritty's class is.
I mean, all right, obviously barbarian?
Is there a well, does he have the same,
Look, all I'm saying is that he uses a great club, and he's proficient in intimidation.
You know what? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and the Phillie Phanatic, if he's a warlock, yeah, he's got way more charisma. Gritty's charisma's not apparent, right? You don't see him and say, "Hey, I want to be friends." You see him and say, "Oh, I'm gonna die tonight."
Okay. Yes, this makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, Yeah, that's the pair of them. And I think that there is something left to be said about. There's a game that we've not yet played that I really want to try out here about these two of these. Um, Therapist, therapy animal, or needs therapy. It's the three categories here.
Now, this is a game that we invented when we were looking at different Pokemon and decided we could divide them into 3 categories.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do that sometime in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But for now...
But the Phillie Phanatic.
I think... therapist, but like an evil therapist.
Oh, wow.
Definitely not therapy animal, because absolutely nothing about the Phillie Phanatic triggers anything but my fight or flight response. And the real answer is flight, but for some reason I feel compelled to fight.
It's flight, but you can't, you are flightless.
Like him. He has the curse of flightlessness on him.
He has put a curse of flightlessness on you.
There's only fightnessness.
Yeah, and needs therapy. It's like, he's got his shit together. Like, he knows what he's about.
He's evil, but he knows what he's about.
Yeah, he's living his life to its fullest. So, yeah.
Okay.
Process of elimination, therapist.
Let's settle on this really quick. Definitely evil, right?
Warlocks aren't always evil. Sometimes they just have an evil boss and they're trying to do their hardest.
Yes, that's true, but I don't know if it's true in this particular case.
It is not true right now. He is beyond help.
Absolutely no.
Yeah, he is. There is something truly evil. I mean, he uses the evil for good. The extent of
evil. Okay. He uses the evil for baseball. He does not use the evil for good.
True. Baseball is definitely a neutral force here.
Baseball is not a good or evil thing.
And there's a history of him, like, he's gotten into physical fights with other teams' managers before.
Oh, that's true.
His
alignment is true baseball.
He's been sued. He's hurt an old lady or two.
Jesus.
But true baseball is his true alignment. And Gritty on the flip side.
Wait a minute. Chaotic baseball. Continue.
You are entirely correct. Gritty, on the other hand, needs therapy.
Yes. I think Gritty needs therapy, but more like he needs therapists to eat in order to survive.
Yeah, his therapy might be a little different than the average humans.
His therapeutic needs in terms of mental health services involve eating therapists, and he needs to eat specifically therapists because he wants to create a net loss in the world, to take away from the realm of man those who would help man, so that man may continue to suffer.
Yeah, it's like the Phillie Phanatic is who we are, and Gritty is what we deserve.
The Phillie Phanatic is not what we are. I'll say that. That sounds like Phanatic mind control talking, actually.
Yeah, I agree. He is beyond us. He's beyond human. And I was amazed that he was Earthborn. To be honest, in my research of him, I could have sworn he would be some kind of extraterrestrial.
I mean, do we know for sure that he's not?
From the Galapagos Islands. I
well, that settles it.
Yeah, it's got a hyperlink.
I'll be honest, that sounds like a cover-up. That doesn't sound real to me.
He is a free agent, for what it's worth. Oh, he's not a free agent.
Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say.
Yeah, because of that lawsuit stuff. I believe those are all but we covered all the facts that I had on hand. Throughout games, he'll dust people's heads off, and he gets into all kinds of funny antics. He's got a really great cameo at the end of Rocky 6.
Is that the one with the boxing in it?
No.
Oh.
Rocky 6 is actually a fishing special.
I mean, that makes sense. When you've punched all on that the land has to offer, you punch the champions of the sea.
Yeah, they actually catch the Phillie Phanatic at the end of their rod.
And he's like, hey, get out of here.
Yeah, he capsizes the boat. He kind of sprays, still spraying his face, and then he just kind of floats off.
And then he drinks his soul, which is the strangest part, I think.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, he slurps it down and he says, he doesn't say anything. I forgot that. He's entirely speechless.
No, he's a furry. They don't talk. I mean, mascot. Wait, what's the difference?
Sports.
I guess that's the only difference.
He slurps up Rocky's soul like a plate of spaghetti.
And that's why in Creed, Rocky doesn't have a soul, and he trades Killmonger to fight to give up his fight with the Black Panther and instead fight the Phillie Phanatic.
The Phillie Phanatic gave Rocky Balboa cancer, canonically.
I mean, I guess that's true.
I said canonically.
That is canonically. I guess I can't argue with that.
Anything else before we wrap this up? Any last words to this warlock? This green devil?
I will say that I am appalled, and I am leaving this episode much more fearful than I was when we started, and I think that's a problem, and we shouldn't release this episode. All glory to Zihu Chikutil, or whatever I said earlier. I'll splice it in, maybe. Zihu Chekutil.
Yeah, he's
this concludes our presentation to the Philadelphia Sports Assembly, by the way.
We've submitted our findings for, and we've come to the conclusion that you, ladies and gentlemen, must be stopped. Thank you and goodbye.
I'm hoping that this makes it to the Franklin Institute for a proper treatment.
Maybe they'll be better at editing than me. Zihu Tekutil.
But yes, I think it's time for the final rating place, where we lay the Phanatic and Gritty to rest.
I don't think that's possible.
A numerical value. So the Philadelphia Phanatic, he gets Philly points. Honestly, I watched Creed 2 not too long ago, and I was like, all right movie, but it's in Philly, so you get Philly points. So I guess that bumps him to like a 4 out of 5.
I would give Centaurs a Rocky 3 out of Creed 2. I will give the Phillie Phanatic 6 limbs out of 8. We didn't do Centaurs last time, so I feel like I should rate them.
It's true. Centaurs, 6 out of 10?
Nah, whatever I said earlier.
Philly and Gritty gets like a 1 out of 5 for me. He's not for me.
Gritty is not for you, but you are for Gritty. You are to sustain him. That is your purpose as a Lansdalian, as a citizen of Lansdale.
Yeah, that explains why I'm currently glazed with an apple in my mouth.
Oh, yes, that is why. I was going to say that you were glazed with not really like sugar or anything, but more of just like this vague, quasi-solid electroplasm. It's like ectoplasm, but instead I said electoplasm, which I think is what Bernie Sanders needs in order to get enough delegates to win the nomination.
It's a form of D&D currency you can donate to his campaign with.
Right, yes. Folks, the primary's not over, and Biden is slipping. If you can spare a couple bucks worth of electoplasm, please feed Bernie your electoplasm.
I'm asking you once again for your electoplasm.
This is the most work I have done for the Sanders campaign since I signed up volunteering, let me tell you. I'm all out of business juice. I think we should end the episode.
Agreed. So, goodbye, Phillie Phanatic. I hope I don't see you in my sleep.
Goodbye. Where can they find us if they want to contact us, though? The listeners, not the Phillie Phanatic.
You can find us on Twitter, Finding Monster Pod. If you want to reach out to us about any monsters in your area for us to cover.
If you want to reach out to us about monsters in someone else's area, don't. You're supposed to stay home.
Yeah, do not associate with other areas' monsters.
Stay 6 feet away from Gritty, please. Thank you.
Stay 6 feet away from Gritty, or you'll be 6 feet underground from Gritty.